The issue here is the bit at the end where it says, photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for 1 of the photos. I mean, technically there should also be another photo of him coming back, but maybe it only does it for when it senses them go in. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Eh? Me? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, I mean, that's what it would seem to me. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! But believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Humph, some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony then, please. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security camera and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. This old bag, this is the first I've heard of this. Yeah, it does undermine the prosecution a little bit. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a term for the unexpected, but I did kind of expect this. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security cameras and check them. So, press. How many photos are there usually? On a day when we're open to the public, we get more than 500 people. But on filming days or rehearsal days, well, we don't have much money. We never get more than 50, and that's on a big day. Do you back up all of the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. So what did you see? How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. Hang on a minute, you can't see the face of the Steel Samurai. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious looking Will Powers' photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. Whose photo? Well, who was it in the photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Well, wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well. You must know there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh, yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young man to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I raised the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're all already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Right. Nearly lunchtime. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it. Really? What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. Wow. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick. It's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sound like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photos you have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. That's not how anything works. Hey, we don't know about anything else. It must be this thing. Call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. I mean, obviously, it's kind of my job. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. Edgeworth! If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder? I would say... I don't think the grade school boy makes sense. I think the security lady's the best argument. And the reason for it is the only person who told us about the grade school boy is the security lady, which could be covering up the fact that she deleted a photo of her going to the studio. No. Well, yes. Also, she's aware that he was limping. So she could have picked up his suit and then started limping. So there's a lot of reasons why it could be the security lady. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. Well, what? Whippersnapper! Order! Order! Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Ms. Oldbag to you. Ms. Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped in Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? I mean, she could have also been the first picture as well. Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in this costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. Huh? That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an injection of some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. I don't like it. I'm scared. What? What's this supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Okay, press further. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers likes a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy. The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. Second or third, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Yeah, how can we be so sure? Look, as defense attorney, it... No, Carrie Wright, stop it. I'm thinking in kind of like British and American systems where if 3 suspects, okay, that means how can you prosecute, how can you convict mine if there are 3 possibilities that aren't eliminated? But in this, it's a bit weird and a bit different. It's making it slightly trickier for me if there are multiple possibles, because I need to provide an alternative, a clear alternative of who actually did it. Or is it being nice to the kids and mean to your elders, day, whippersnappers? I have proof. Proof? Indeed? Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? Do I? Do I? Card key. Take that! The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Okay, so if I'd said the boy, Edgeworth would have come up with this, I assume, as his objection to the boy. I don't know about the... No, because she said the assistant didn't see the injury. So of those 3, actually, the security guard's the only one who makes sense. Okay. Very well. This court will suspend the proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy, what was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. No, the hammer. The hammer happened. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? I've already declared a recess. You could be in contempt of court, you know. Have you omitted something from your testimony? Even though I've called for a recess? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Okay. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Ooh. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. That's not true. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination? Okay. So, Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. Okay. Who in Global Studios? You were told not to talk? That's right. By the studio and TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Oh, don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. That's a confession. Some other people at the studio. Who? Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of that action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime. They had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Yes, there was, but we were told it was dangerous. Well, if you look at the guide map, yeah. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. That's where the monkey's head was falling over. But what it means is the director and producer would have had to go past the camera. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but let's continue. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Is there something else I can ask? I guess there's no harm getting as much as I can. Oh, right, so I've already got it. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been in the studios that day. But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away with scot-free. Okay. Told me to just pretend they hadn't been in the studios that day. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. Grumble, grumble. Kill this woman, I swear it. I feel sorry for Edgeworth. Oh, almost. She really left him hanging on this one. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Them? Who were these people? Director and producer. Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director, we should have known something was fishy. How could they have done the scene without the director? I suppose no one asked about it, so where were these people? The director was in the employee area, and the director and producer were in Studio 2. Where was Studio 2? I know where Studio 2 was, because we saw the sign and we've looked at the map. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue your cross-examination? Let's take a break. You're on it. We have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defence's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. Right. That took 2 hours, apparently. So thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Oh, really? Oh, it's nothing. Ding. Oh, or should I... we'll be going to... Oh, that instead of a grin, was it? I don't know. We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been Old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor Old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right! We'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. And indeed, to be continued. I think I'll put the cut in there. And next time we will return to Turnabout Samurai as we investigate the director and the producer. But that will be next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.